Hey guys, I'm Grant Owens. We're at the Montana Avenue Summer Fest. We're joined by our friend Trishes.
Hello.
And welcome. Thank you so much for playing the festival today. I know you're also playing, I believe, the Rove stage?
I'm playing at the main stage.
Main stage.
Which
is like everybody. We're all presenting you at the main stage.
Yes.
That's awesome. And where are you from originally?
I grew up in San Diego and also Trinidad. I lived in Trinidad until I was 7, and I lived in San Diego until I went to college.
Cool. And then now you live here in Los Angeles?
I do, yeah.
And I know you've been playing all over town. I think you've played a school night. You've played all over.
Yeah.
You're starting to get ingrained in the music scene.
Yeah, definitely in LA, and I've been gone all summer just playing around the country.
Really?
And I did some shows in Eastern Europe, which was really cool, and now I'm back for a little bit.
That's awesome. So you have a new single out or coming out, Ego?
So I just released my debut EP, Ego. It's a 5-song concept multimedia project. So it's 5 core concepts, and then there's also spoken word, videos, and a small visual art collection of 15 pieces that goes with the 5 concepts.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a big concept. That's so cool. Yeah. Tell me about the creative process. Tell me about that. Tell me about what you're doing with your music.
Yeah, so Trishes is based on the constructs of self. So it's the conscious self, the primal self, and the spiritual self. And so it's going to be 3 albums. Ego is the conscious self, or what Freud called the conscious self. And I based that on things that we created to separate ourselves from the primal or animal self. So it's based on government, language, self-awareness, creativity, and money. And just about how different communities, and particularly minorities, relate to these different structures, and how they can be harmful and how they can be helpful. And so I really just think about these concepts for a long time, and I write a lot of essays, a lot of spoken word pieces, and in the end I write the song, which is essentially like the thesis statement of whatever I've concluded about that idea.
Amazing. All right. Well, that's a big thought process to go through. And your music, do you build it yourself?
Yeah, so I usually start everything with my live setup. So I use a keyboard and a vocal effects processor and a loop station. So I do a lot of vocal percussion, vocal looping, and synthesizer looping. And I will build my songs off of my solo live setup, essentially. And then when I go into the studio, we record all of that in and then kind of add on top the bass and drums to that. So that's kind of how the musical process works.
Amazing. All right. How about some dream collaborators you'd like to work with?
I would love to work with St. Vincent. St. Vincent is like my, she's my hero. I think just the trajectory of her career is so amazing. I love her live shows. I love her sounds. I love her concepts. So St. Vincent and Chance the Rapper, I would love to work with him. I'm sure there's plenty of others.
Bjork?
Oh, yes, that's one. Bjork, but there's so many phases of Bjork.
For sure. I love the early stuff.
There's a lot of phases of Bjork, so definitely, but still, like, such a huge inspiration, especially growing up and just seeing how artistic she could be, and like how out of the box she could be. And like Regina Spektor, I think did that for me too, growing up, just seeing like how your voice can be an instrument, and how your songwriting does not have to be in the standard structure of songwriting, because she's so stream of consciousness. So I think definitely Bjork and Regina Spektor growing up encouraged me a lot into being the artist I am.
Amazing. And what else are you focusing on these days?
So my biggest thing right now is these ego experience pop-ups that I'm doing throughout the country. I've held a couple already, and I'm going to be doing some more throughout the next year. So it's basically a physical representation of ego, where you can see the original art pieces. There's 15 art pieces, 3 for each concept. And you check out headphones, and I talk to you and you hear the spoken word and you hear the album, and then we interact. So there's questions on the walls about your community, how your community relates to government, how your community relates to language, and what ways are government or language or money oppressive to different minorities and communities. And it's just, for me, really a way to build understanding, and for me to get to know communities around the country in a deeper way than I've been able to touring in the past, is to have these art music pop-ups. So that's a really big passion of mine, and hopefully I'll be doing a lot more of that.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're looking forward to seeing your set tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Where's the best place to find all your music?
You can just go to trishes.com, Trishes.com, and you'll see all my art, all my spoken word, all my videos, all my music. It's all there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Trishes, on We Found New Music.